You are listening to the Big Scuba. This is an audio-only episode.
Hej, jag heter Rannva och jag är här samman med Gemma och Ian och detta är stora Scuba podcastet. Hi, I'm Rannva and I'm here with Gemma and Ian and this is the Big Scuba Caster.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Big Scuba podcast. This is episode 30, or if you want the Roman numerals, XXX. Welcome back, Gemma. You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm really pleased you said that.
Yeah, good. So this is the episode with Rannva, who we got to know and who's one of the ambassadors for Fourth Element.
Yep. So she is working for Fourth Element and also Shearwater, and she's about to go on an expedition in a few months, which is an all-women's expedition to cave exploration.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So that'd be good, and that'd be really good to get some updates with Rannva and the rest of the crew about how that goes.
Yeah, it's quite an honour, I think. Yeah, to be an all-women team that far.
It's pretty hardcore actually with what they're doing, and it sounds quite good. So we're looking forward to seeing how all that develops. We've just come back from St Anne's, which we're going to be talking about on the next episode, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we had a 3-day diving trip. Yes.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, it was.
And you're now done another 6 dives. So
yeah, so I'm now up to 14 dives.
Woohoo!
So, yeah.
That's good. Excellent. All right, well, let's not dilly-dally any further. Let's crack on and let's talk to Rannva, yeah?
Yep. So here is Rannva talking about her scuba journey and her time at Fourth Element and her upcoming expedition for some cave exploration with an all-women team.
Brilliant. But wait, hold on, not so fast, because got to wait till the end, because we're going to give us a bit of an update about who's coming up next and also a little bit of news as well. That'll be coming up right after.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
Fall away, and I'll play the fool. Can't erase the things we've been through.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Hello.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, thank you for joining us on the Big Scuba podcast. So
Thanks for joining us.
we'll just introduce ourselves so you know a bit about us. So obviously I'm Gemma. In terms of diving, I literally just qualified this weekend as an open water diver. So
Congratulations.
yeah, so it started before the lockdown and then it stopped and then finally got it done at Giltenberg Water this week.
In horrendous condition.
Oh, makes you a proper diver then.
Yeah, visibility was like...
Literally, visibility was like that.
Oh.
Yeah, so I enjoyed it. It was great fun, and yeah. And then yesterday I did my first offshore dive to a wreck.
Oh, cool.
I've got 6 dives in my log now. So yeah, so I've got a new perspective as a diver, and yeah. So I'm looking forward to doing a lot more as well. So, but outside of that, I do like the water and paddle boarding and swimming and live on the beach, so it's kind of meant to be, hopefully.
That's awesome.
So that's me. So
Okay, dive master for about 3 years, diving for about 5. Thought about going down the tech route, but went down the whole dive master route and what have you. Really enjoy that. Really enjoy meeting people and talking to them and helping them on their J word on the journey, on the J word there. So yeah, just having that sort of fun with diving really, and helping Gemma get started, and hopefully giving her a bit of confidence as well, and hopefully sort of trying to motivate my kids to get into diving as well, a bit of that. So that's kind of about me, really. You know.
Cool.
So,
How old are your kids?
my son is 12 and my daughter is 10.
All right, so they're perfect age to start diving then.
Yeah, they've done the SEAL teams things in the pool. So it's time to get them out. We've done snorkeling and messing about at the rivers, those sort of things. So it'd be good to get them into open water in a couple of years' time. You know.
Yeah.
I think my son is more into his Xbox and those sort of things, and skates at the moment.
Yeah.
So hopefully we might get him into diving at some stage. But Honey, I think she might get into it more earlier on.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
So let's hear about you. Let's hear about all the things that exciting you've got. We looked at your social media, got some amazing photos. You've done some amazing dives. So tell us about yourself.
Well, okay. So we'll just start with the beginning, I guess. So I'm originally from the Faroe Islands, and those who might not know where they are, there's a little island group between Iceland and Scotland. We are a self-governed nation, but belong to Denmark. So it's only about 50,000 people, and the islands are 100 kilometers from north to south. So I literally grew up by the cliffs of the Faroe Islands. I used to race across the cliffs with my friends to see who could run fastest, and we would always be like looking down in the water and trying to see what was like under the kelp forest and what was there. So I was always been drawn to the ocean.
I bet you had some amazing storms up there and some amazing seas as well, didn't you?
Yes, we do, definitely. And the winds, weather just controls everything back home. As children, we used to, if you wake up in winter and you can hear it was windy, you would quickly run up and turn on the radio to check if the buses were running. Because if the buses weren't running, that meant school was off for the day.
Woo!
Yeah. So that's kind of where I started, like with the love for the ocean. And when I was 20 years old, I was traveling in Australia. But back then, I already kind of developed a little bit of a fear of the creepy crawlies in the ocean. I was
come on, you're a tech type. You can't tell me you're now scared of spiders.
No, I overcame that one as well. No, but seriously, just walking onto the beaches and stuff like that, I was absolutely terrified that a shark would come and bite me, or I would step on a sea urchin or something else. Like, you always hear about these horror stories about everything in Australia can kill you. So, but anyway, doing the bucket list and traveling around as you did, I was up around Cairns, and I always kind of wanted to try scuba diving as well. So I thought it was a box that was going to be ticked to do my open water course and then continue on with my trip. I think bungee jumping like that. However, doing the course, doing it in the pool was fine. I've always been swimming a lot, so that wasn't a problem. And then we came out to the reef. It was a liveaboard actually, 3 days on my open water. So I started out quite spoiled, but still a bit like, what about the sharks and everything? Dangerous down there. But as soon as I actually got my mask on, I was able to see what was that fear just disappeared and was replaced by this feeling of falling in love. Love at first dive proper. Since then, it was just one thing after the other. I just wanted to do more and more and more. And 6 months after, I finished as a dive master in Bali, where I've been for 5 weeks, I think 6 weeks at Gili T.
Great place to get your qualification as well.
Yes, it was great. And because there's so much traffic as well. So often you think about conveyor belt with some of these busy dive schools, but for a dive master, it was perfect because you got so much experience so quickly for so many different scenarios and so many type people as well. So that I really enjoyed that. So yeah, and then after that, my gap year was kind of over. I went back to the Faroes for a bit and I worked as a dive master, but what we mostly did was guided snorkel trips in dry suits back home.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, which was quite fun. And it was 12 years ago. So 12 years ago, tourism hadn't even begun back. So it was just for locals. We'd take females out to do snorkeling because diving still felt like a man's sport. And females back home weren't I think at the time we were only
Does it still feel like that?
Back home, yeah. Back
Really?
home, yeah. Yeah, I think so. So one of my best mates, Boogie, he's just started a dive center at home that's called North Atlantic Diving, and he's been working in Denmark as a dive instructor for a while, and he's really starting to get everything up and running. So I think he's doing a Paddy Women's Dive Day here now on the weekend.
Yeah, because that's Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah, Saturday. So he's trying to encourage more, but still there's only about 3 or 4 active divers like that are female back home. But obviously you need these passionate people to get the community and the environment going. And it looks like he's managing to pull it off, but obviously a bit of a while.
But I imagine the conditions. I know we just mentioned like the storms, but back home, are the conditions much harsher than what they are in the UK?
Well, you'd really need to take current into the equation, because sometimes in between the islands, the Faroe Islands are on this bank, and then the islands, there's 18 islands that come up. So in between the fjords, the water's just gushing through. So sometimes when you're sailing, it's like it's bubbling. So you really need to be aware of the currents that are there. But there's lots of protected fjords that you can go diving in. And because the islands are so small, you can quite quickly drive from one side to the other if the conditions aren't right for that for the site. So it's spectacular.
Is it particularly like deep dive in there?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I think to the best of my knowledge, the deepest you can go is about 17 meters, which is obviously is tech depth, but not impossible. And then you have lovely sheltered fjords and cracks and stuff you can dive in as well. And quite interesting entry points with, I think, about 100 stairs that you need to climb up and down with your dive kit and stuff. So hopefully, I'm going back home in a week, and we'll be doing some diving. So if you follow on social media, you can.
It'll be interesting.
Post there.
Yeah. I'm kind of imagining a scene a bit similar to maybe what's up at the Farne Islands, and when you go further up north to like Scotland, that sort of type landscape, scenery, and diving.
Yeah, definitely in kelp and like big kelp forest as well.
I love that. There's a dive at the Farne Island, and it's not particularly deep. There's only probably 8 meters, something like that, and you just get the current that picks you along, and you've got all the kelp sort of swaying, and you can see all the critters and the life below, and you're above it, just like looking at it. Oh, it's just actually flying past as well, because you're in the current going with it. Great.
It's absolutely stunning, and the colors are so vivid as well, especially if you catch it on a good sunny day, and especially just staying in the shallows. Stay about 5 meters. There's no need to go deep. Then you can really catch the sunbeams coming through, and they light up all the reds on the seabed. It's just incredible.
So how often do you get to get home?
I try to go twice a year for summer and for Christmas. I didn't go home this Christmas. It will be a full year since I've been at home, so I'm very excited to go home now. With the whole situation, Corona and stuff as well. Fortunately, the Faroese government has been very good at handling it. So everybody who arrives to the Faroe Islands will get tested upon arrival for free, and you have to be quarantined until you get the results from your test. But that is later the next day, and then you're free to roam around as crazy as you like.
Next day.
Yeah, next day. So I haven't actually done my trimix course yet. But Boogie, as he's one of my best friends, he gave it to me for a 30th birthday, which was 2 years ago. Yeah, so hopefully I'm going to go on a course when I go back home as well.
Time to cash it in.
Yeah, that's
brilliant.
So how did your sort of scuba journey progress? Obviously, you dive master, so obviously then did it get more and more into the technical side?
Yeah, well, after that, I was just kind of thinking like I needed to be a grown-up and have a grown-up job, but somehow scuba diving kept pulling back at me. And then I was living in Copenhagen, and actually with said friend from the Faroe Islands, he invited me on a trip to Egypt where 4 of us went for a little dive holiday. He was saying to me, "Oh, Rannva, like I'm doing my instructor course in a month's time. Do you wanna come with me?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm never gonna use that for anything." But he managed to talk me into it. And since then, it's just been one thing after another, and then it was just scuba diving, just everything. So we did did our course, did the first part of our course in Copenhagen, the second part in Oslo in Norway, and then we did our instructor examination in Stockholm, Sweden.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were traveling around to become instructors. I was working as a flight attendant at that time, so fortunately I was able to get us on some pretty cheap flights. So we traveled Scandinavian Airlines.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So there was a lot of figuring out what the hell to be when I grew up. So that was part of it, just try to be a flight attendant for a while. Great fun. Yeah, but the scheduling was pretty difficult, as you can imagine, with flying and then diving. And then I became a dive instructor, and I was working in Copenhagen as a freelance instructor, which is, you wouldn't think that you can see so much, but and sometimes when you have to do open water course, we had to drive an hour away from Copenhagen just to get +6 meters so they could courses. And in winter you get some pretty horrific. You get temperatures down to like 0 degrees. So you can, and in summer the temps were up to about 8. You get the full spectrum. So I felt I got properly challenged instructor there.
That's good then.
And then, but by then I was just really hooked, like diving. This is what I need with my life. But I wasn't entirely sure if become an instructor. I quite like having the freedom of working or want to be diving as well. So I didn't want to feel like a chore.
When did you last teach?
Pardon?
When did you last teach?
When? A couple of weeks ago, actually.
Oh, right, brilliant. That's
yeah.
Good.
So I still teach a little bit once in a while. So I'm trying to teach my partner. It's not going too well at the moment, to be honest. He likes to slack a bit, so I need to crack out the whip now and make sure he gets it done.
Chop, chop.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. But yeah, so I still try to keep the knowledge and everything up to date. I've transitioned from being a PADI instructor to SDI as well. SDI, Scuba Diving International. Yeah, exactly. There's so many organizations as well, especially as the internet is growing, like how available the courses are online now. But yeah, so then I was working in Denmark, and that's actually also diving. Actually, maybe not actually. I jumped on a cave course. A friend said they were the third per course. And I was like, why not? Sounds fun. Hadn't actually, why not? So it would have an accent else.
Did you talk to any cave divers and have a chat with them?
Yeah, so again, my same mate from the Faroe Islands, he'd already done the course. So I gave him a ring, and then I asked him what he thought, and told him like, oh, they need a third person. I'm not actually sure. Do you think it's something I should do? And he's like, yes. and then he's like, okay, right, maybe you need a little bit more explanation than just a big fat yes, but here's why. And then he was explaining, he sold me the idea pretty well. So I ended up flying over to Florida with my instructor from Denmark, who's Rasmus Dijsted. He's got a company called Technical Diving Courses, and he's actually the instructor who also taught me to be a dive instructor. So we have been following along for quite a while. And then we flew over, and you're always a little bit nervous before a big course like that. But after you've done the first breakdown dive, where literally everything that can go wrong will go wrong, to prepare your inside. After we'd done that, the worst hurdle to get over, the rest was pure magic. And it was just entering weird and wonderful space. Kind of, you felt like an astronaut, like visiting a world. It was just.
What part of Florida was that?
It's North Florida, so it's a High Springs area. So it's really, really cool. It's a cool area to visit as well. It's proper redneck up there as well. Yeah, it's like very small town as well. People are lovely. There's a really cool dive center called Amigos Dive Center, where it's self-serve. So it's totally based on the trust system. So the first day you get there, you make an account, and then you have a chat with Wayne, who's the owner of the dive shop, who's a lovely guy as well. And then it's kind of like a drive-in gas filling station. So you drive around the house, wait until it's your turn, plug everything in yourself, and then you put it in the computer what you took, and then you drive off again for the dives.
How brilliant is that?
Yeah, so that's really awesome.
That's a great idea.
Was it?
I bet it's 24 hours.
Pardon?
Is it 24 hours?
Yeah, 24 hours. It's only when you need to register and get your tanks and stuff, you need to come in when Wayne's actually there. But the rest of the time, you just kind of manage it yourself.
Well, got that here.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. So had you been into caves, like dry caves, before you kind of did the diving thing?
Yeah, no, I haven't. So now I live in Cornwall, in the UK, and Wookey Hole is not that far away. So I've been looking to join the CDG, so the Cave Divers Guild, I think it's called. But there's just been quite a lot of things happening, so I haven't.
You spoke to Michael Thomas or Robert Thomas?
Yeah. I actually went cave diving with both of them up in Wales. So we went to a couple of slate mines and went diving.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really cool. That was an experience. That was very different cave diving to the one in Florida and Mexico where I've been as well. So everything is like really nicely set up. You got bench to get on and stuff like that, and there's nice little wooden patch to jump down. Up in Wales, it definitely wasn't like that. It was hardcore, muddy. You had to have proper boots to make sure.
True caving.
Yeah, proper caving as well. So Mike was taking out ropes. We weren't doing like proper, what's it called in English? Rappelling?
Rappelling, yeah.
We weren't doing that, but we didn't need a rope to help us get down into the hole and then like clambering down these slate mines.
You see what he's been doing the last couple of days?
Has he?
Yeah, he's been doing some repair works at Wookey Hole, and amazing photos that they've been sharing.
Yeah, they're doing some really, really cool stuff. I really need to see if I can go diving with him.
Definitely. If you get a chance.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're both amazing divers themselves, but they're also just great company to hang around.
Yeah,
we had them on for the Father's Day episode.
Oh yeah.
And they were telling us all about it, and it's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, and so passionate about it. Yeah. So you started cave diving then. So where did that take you?
Oh my goodness, that took me to even more places. Well, it's actually so that kind of took me to where I am today as well. So our trip coincided just with the DEMA show. So before we started our cave diving trip, we had a couple of days at the DEMA trade show in Florida. And I don't know if you know what it is, but for those who don't know, it's the world's largest trade-only diving show that's in the States. So it was in Orlando the year that we were there, and every other year it switches between Orlando and Las Vegas. And at this trade show, I met Jim Standing and Paul Strike, who are the founders and directors of Fourth Element. And so that was when the first introduction was made to those two guys. And so I did the cave diving course, came back to Denmark, and then about 6 months later, I was just ready to leave Denmark. Now, I wanted something else. And at that point, I saw that Fourth Element was actually hiring. And I had no idea where Cornwall was when I saw the application. I had to go in.
World down there.
Yeah, definitely. So first I had to Google Cornwall and that looks like quite a nice place. Yeah, I can see myself in there. And then I looked a bit more about the job. The job was a dry suit repair technician and for service. So at that point, I had no idea how to fix a dry suit. Well, I loved Fourth Element.
Just say yes.
Yeah, Jim and Paul were just absolutely amazing guys as well. And I really wanted to work for the company. Maybe not so much the position itself, but just working for Fourth Element. I thought I think
very forward thinking.
I think that's what I want. So I flew over for an interview. I didn't get the job.
Oh no!
I didn't know how to repair dry suits. However, luckily, they at that point needed a sales manager in the Scandinavian region. So it was just a stroke of luck and timing. And that's like, well, you can have that job, but we made you another one. Please come work for it.
Oh, that's good.
So that's 3.5 years ago, and I'm still here.
Do you sell Shearwaters as well?
So that's a brand new thing as well. So Fourth Element have just become the agents of Shearwater for Scandinavia and Baltics. And that is my role now as well. So now I am Fourth Element and Shearwater, Scandinavia and the Baltic.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah, I'm getting all the samples tomorrow. ship hopper.
I use
So,
Shearwater as well. Good computers.
Yeah. So it's going to be Christmas times 10, having a look and play with all the samples and stuff. So that's going to be amazing.
But, yeah, it must be amazing to have a job that is doing something you love as well and connected so closely to it as well.
Yeah. I definitely, it was just more of a stroke of luck and actually just saying yes to some opportunities, even or even charging for it, even though that maybe dry suit repairs wasn't exactly what I wanted to do, but it was the ethos of fulfillment that I wanted to work for as well.
Yeah, because you dive with a rebreather as well, don't you?
Yeah, that's I do. Obviously, AP diving is literally across the street from us, and I always been fascinated by them. And I always like, oh, that was a dream to get my own rebreather, or at least just to learn it. And here, there's a really cool dive center here in Falmouth, Seaways Diving, where there's John Adams is one of the BiG instructors,
Right?
and they have. He's a very experienced instructor on inspiration, and he's been teaching years. And obviously, I started going diving with them and freelance team a little bit with Seaways as well. And then I managed to get a loaner unit, BSAC community as well. So even if you can't afford units before doing your course, at least try it or rent it through if you're a BSAC member. I think they have like 2 or 3 units that can rent.
Good.
And obviously you can't just rent it without being able to use it. But if you're not entirely certain what you need to learn on and all of that stuff, then great way to do it. And
is that available nationwide then, that type of scheme? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure it's nationwide, yeah. But definitely have a chat with John Adams. He's the main man, and I think he's one of the main instructors as well. But I'm pretty sure they'll be up. So you have to be.
Because they're expensive as well, aren't they? So it's good to try these things before you actually, too committed.
Yeah, exactly. So but as I mentioned, you have to be a BSAC member before you can get access to the loaner units.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. I know. So you've got a big. You're involved in a big dive plan coming up, aren't you? Tell us about that.
So that's called the Xunaan-Ha Expedition. And it's the first, or to the best of our knowledge, is the first all-female exploration cave project for going to Mexico. Yeah. So the project is the idea originated by Robbie Schmittner. He's a German. You might have heard about the guy who water caves in Mexico world. That was Robbie.
Okay.
Robbie has the theory that there's a fracture that runs from the top of all the way down to the east. And when you look at the cave maps, see that all the horizontal are on the side of the fracture, which he suspects is a fracture on the west side are vertical. So what Robbie thinks is there is one big water-bearing mother cave that actually has created all the other form. So he spent years searching over Google Maps, finding nothing, exploring them and stuff. So what we're trying to do now is go and see if we can actually find evidence that the whole box fracture is a water-bearing cave itself. And he's got 5 cenotes, I think it was 5 that haven't been dived yet. So so us, the team of 6 ladies, are going to explore these caves and find evidence.
That's going to be exciting, considering especially with 5 caves that never been explored before. Yeah,
exactly. Robbie has been in there just to poke his head in to make sure that the caves are actually going somewhere. So he knows that they're caves. So he's been in there himself just to have a quick look around. But they're there for us to explore, and they're so far in that we have to do jungle camping as well.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's really cool. So I personally have not done any exploration before. So, and I think Ellen, who's Ellen Coiler, she's another team member. She hasn't done any exploration before. So, and also we will all be doing a course in surveying before we actually start exploring. But Marie and myself, we've done lots of cave divings before as well. And most recently, or last year, was the Paralens project. We made a video called Unexplored, which was more of a inspirational video for ladies or for people to do rebreather and cave.
So who's actually on the who's going out with you?
So it's myself and Maria Bollerup. Then it's Ellen Quailert, who's a photographer from Belgium, but she lives in the Cayman Islands. Then it's Tamara May. I think she's from Australia, but she lives and works in Tulum already as a guide, but she just became a cabin instructor. Then we have Julia Gugelmeyer, who is a German who also lives and works in Tulum. So there, and then finally we have Melody Trevino, who is a local Mexican who lives and works at a dive center called Xcalac or XTC down this border. And they also just opened a dive center. So it's us 6 ladies that are.
Yeah. So when do you actually leave to start this expedition?
Yeah, we were hoping to go in November, but considering the situation in the world, we've had to postpone it. So now we are aiming for the first 2 weeks in February.
So not too far away.
Not too far away now, no. Definitely. Fourth Element is on as one of the sponsors as well for the project. So it's really exciting as well. And we are looking for sponsors as well. We're to cover the expedition costs. There's if you go to robbieschmittner.com, there's all the information about the Xunaan.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to maybe share that. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. That would be great. Thank you. Well, we can really use all the help that we can get to get this project off the ground.
Yeah, happy to share. Definitely.
Yeah.
So how long do you think you're going to be away? Have you got a set time span from start to finish?
According to Robbie, it's 24 days from start to finish. But that's including training and all of that as well. And before, plus setting up the procedures and everything as well to make sure we get the right data collected out as well. And then there's 14 days of exploration, and then another 5 days at the end to collect the data and everything as well, or to process the data that we collected.
Amazing. It's just to go into unknown territory as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing being.
So what would you say is that going to be like your best dive? Or, what is your best dive, would you say, to date? Would you say, what comes to mind?
It's such a difficult question as well, because there's been so many best dives. But one that I spoke about recently was on my first trip to Mexico, the cave diving there, and that was with another friend of mine called Karina, and we were driving up to this backyard of someone's house in Mexico. And you kind of knock on the door and you ask if you can dive their hole. And they're like, yeah, and you give them some money. And then there's a little bench set up, and then you get up and get ready. And then you walk down this little path, and then there's a puddle. It's the best way you can describe it. It fits about 3 divers. Water is about thigh to waist high. And then you stand there, do your checks, put your mask on. When you see pictures of people standing in the hole, it just looks a bit funny. It's like a bit of overkill with all your kit, and you just sit there getting ready to go nowhere, as it looks like. And then there's a rope on the side of the wall as well. So you go over, you grab the rope, and then you start going down. But because you've been standing in this puddle for a while getting ready, there's absolutely zero visibility. So you're just kind of following this rope, and you can feel you're going through a hole, and your head's kind of like banging onto stuff. Your tanks go. You feel like a human pinball machine. You're going down this hole, and then suddenly, like the cave just opens up. It's like the visibility is endless. The walls down there are just pure white. The reflection of the torch just shines back.
Oh wow!
It's incredible. And then there's these big, amazing stalactites and stalagmites coming to ceilings. And another thing that's really cool about this, particularly, you come out there and you come down to the hole and turn back up. You look from where you come. There's a little shelf in the corner which got some pottery from when the water table was lower down, and the ancient Mayans could come down and bring their offering to Xibalba and put them down there as well. So they think that they're pottery from already back then. It's just an incredible dive. But Mexico filled with those. And especially this one hole, it's just such easy diving as well. The average depth is 10 meters all the way. So you just don't have to worry about your compression. You just make sure you got enough gas to get back out and have some reserve as well. And Lovely.
To add to the list.
Yeah, definitely. I bet it's hard for you, Gemma, hearing all this stuff now. Your list must be getting longer and longer, huh?
I think it's really helped, obviously, in lockdown, talking to these amazing people, from big names to kind of just normal, divers that are just passionate about it, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah. I think we're all here just because we love it as well. I don't think there's anyone really in this industry because, for anything else but the love and passion for it, which is awesome. It's great being in an industry like that, and that's also one of the reasons why I enjoy it so much. And here.
So we've got somebody coming on from Paralens on Friday to talk to us, and so I'm really excited because I do quite like their cameras. What do you think to the new Vaquita?
Oh my God! So I've been using Paralens since the beginning, and are you speaking to Jacob?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Jacob, he's a good mate as well, and so I've been using the Paralens from the beginning. So I am so excited about the new one coming out, and especially the citizen science part of it as well, where you can actually do something useful with the image that you come up with. I am no photographer at all. And it's kind of on purpose. I haven't done it either because I just get too perfectionist about it, and it's just going to ruin enjoyment of the dive. I think for me personally, I might change my mind.
It's true though, isn't it? Because you see it all the time, don't you? And somebody will have a GoPro, say, or Paralens, but usually it's a GoPro on a stick.
Yeah.
And they have no idea where their fins are or anything. They're just focused on the GoPro. And
exactly.
I said this to Gemma yesterday because Gemma was thinking about taking the camera in. And, it's good just to focus on the diving and not get
I had a torch, so that was my focus. Like blinding in.
The torch is actually a really, really good tool to have. Because it helps you focus. Sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming with all the things that you can see. So if you have a torch and you can pinpoint what you're looking at, you start looking at the small organisms and anything, the exciting stuff that's down there as well. And that's one of the beauties about British diving as well. There's so many cool small things that you can see. But definitely with the camera.
We had our eye on a lobster yesterday that was doing this march across the sand like this.
No way! That's so cool.
Yeah. Crabs, starfish. I was just like, and this is just off our Norfolk coast, so it's not like Cornwall. And we were just like,
the visibility was good. 5 meters plus? Brilliant.
And there's so many bad things you can say about the corona and stuff, but it's really, I think, it's opened a lot of people's eyes to their local diving, which is amazing because we all have it right outside, or most of us have it not very far away, and you can just go diving and incredible diving. But it's with the cameras as well. So I was always a bit worried about that. But with the Paralens, but you always kind of want to bring back the memories and show like your mom or
of course.
Like, look what I saw, it was awesome. But having those footages as well with the new Vaquita that is able to it records data they use for citizen science, especially this day and age, global the oceans warming as well. Like if we can get enough people to upload the data that comes with it as well, not just the video, an incredible, probably invaluable amount of information that the scientists analyze what's actually going on. So I think it's really diving with a whole different purpose now, and that's just by you filming stuff you can show after as well.
And the environment, as divers, is obviously so important.
Yeah, exactly.
We've had some of the people who we've had on. We've talked about this, where using liverboards when they drop their divers off, say in the Galapagos, with the if they're filming the whale sharks, you can use them to track certain whale sharks. And the people who we spoke to last week from Mountain Pacific, weren't they? Same thing. It's using photos to track certain mantas.
Yeah, exactly.
More on that come on, really.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good.
I was in Antarctica in January as well on the trip. Yeah, which was just mind blowing being down there. That's probably my life is probably going to go a bit after that. I'm afraid that was it. That was peaking. It was just mind blowing. But we went to visit this Ukrainian research station called Vernadsky, and there was a whale scientist there called Oksana, and she was showing us how she was doing biopsies and stuff like that. She actually had a crossbow that she would fire at the whales to get a skin biopsy from the whales. But she would also ask all of us, most of us who were there had really nice cameras with big stuff, and we had literally hundreds of humpback whales that were feeding and bubbling like that. And a lot of them were doing the tail going down. So, but the way she was identifying these different whales was by all the whales have different markings on their tails. So if you get proper picture of the tails, she was like, please send me all of them. It's all important data that I can use as well. So if you ever like see whales and stuff like that, there is someone out there who's researching it. And
it's incredible. Yeah, the power of the camera.
Yeah, and then that's you just having fun and enjoying yourself as well.
I'm a bit of a believer though, and I might be on my own on this one, but it's actually quite nice that there's still a lot of things about these animals that we don't know, because it's that the unknown that keeps them free and keeps them wild. The more you get to know them, makes them almost too accessible.
Yeah.
It's great with the scientists. That's great, because it's good to understand. But on the other side, that information can get in the wrong hands, and then they get used to hunt them and things. So, because not everyone is in the same belief as us, who love them and love to see them from afar.
Yeah, fortunately, you can see it on both sides as well. Like with knowledge as well, it comes to knowledge on how to protect the animals.
Yeah.
And that's especially considering all the whale culling stuff that was done down in the southern seas as well. Now, actually, they think that the humpback population is nearly back up 90%. It's insane like that. Unfortunately,
because they've hunted them in the Faroe Islands.
Yeah, but there still are the pilot whales, which is more of a dolphin species. They're not endangered, but it's a very controversial topic. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. So what's your plans for the sort of future running up to the expedition? Have you got anything else happening?
Well, obviously going back home now, trying to get some dives in back in the Faroes, and hopefully getting to do the Tram Explorer course with Boogie. That would be amazing. Do a bit deeper and longer dives as well. Boogie does rebreather diving as well, so I'm a little bit considering bringing one rebreather back home, but there's always the baggage restriction as well, and I'm not sure how much my mum would enjoy it if I kept going off diving all the time. And then it would just be a lot of training, a lot of getting ready. Maria's going to come over, I'm getting over to Denmark when we can, and we'll do some drills together and get properly prepared. It's not just going on an expedition. I feel like you really need to hone your skills. Obviously, it's already been a year since I last cave dived, so there's always a lot of practice. There's always something to practice. So it's just getting on in the water as much as possible and down before we go.
Well, it's good. You know a lot of people in the cave diving world who I'm sure would soon jump in with you and go for some practice. So that's good.
Yeah, but anyone who just isn't even a cave diver could come in as well. It might be a bit boring when you're watching someone swimming around with a blindfold trying to get away back out and stuff, but it can also be quite entertaining. Yeah. It can also be quite entertaining when they bang their heads against stuff. And but that's also kind of how it piqued my interest as well, is watching the other guys practice their skills. So I think even though you're not doing a course, you can still come along and have a look and feel at what technical diving might be all about. You jump. It's a bit of a shame that Tech Camp got cancelled this year.
Yeah, it's having an appreciation probably of all there's so many elements of scuba diving or diving that you can go down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, hopefully next year these things will come back. Eurotech should be next year as well. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see. We at so far I think the dive show that we think might go ahead is the boot show in Germany. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, the world is changing so fast, and now they're talking about increasing lockdowns again. So we just, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, take it every day as it comes.
Yeah.
So how are you spending Paddy World Divers Day?
Well, we are actually doing a fourth element, ladies divers day. So we are quite female heavy at fourth element as well, which is
that's
great.
good.
So we're doing something on Saturday. We're going down to the local beach here. Not everyone is a diver at fourth element, so we're trying to just get everybody to get together. We haven't seen each other since March, so we will try and go do something together. So we're doing a social day. We're a couple of divers, and then there's a couple of snorkelers, some stand-up paddleboarders, and some who are taking care of the barbecues. So it's going to be.
We got Jim on the barbecue.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure we're giving him the responsibility of the Barbie, but we'll see. so we're having a bit of a company day on Saturday, which will be lovely.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. So hopefully, the sun will be shining. It's definitely warm. Yeah,
I think so. It looks like it's going to be all right weather. So
yeah, that's good.
Are you guys got any plans for it?
Not at the moment. Maybe it might be kayaking or paddleboarding at the moment.
Yeah. Not sure yet.
Yeah. But we'll see what else is on offer.
I'm sure there's something going on.
Yeah. So with all our guests, we ask them 5 questions. So we ask every guest the same thing. So I'll start the ball rolling. So have you got anywhere you'd like to dive that's still on your bucket list, and why?
Well, the Galapagos is on my bucket list. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. But there's also, I'd love to go to Budapest and go dive underneath the city there. There's a big, amazing stairwell that I've seen that you can go diving down, which would be really awesome to dive there. Yeah, I'd love to go diving there.
Yeah, that's good. We haven't had that one before.
No.
Yeah. And what's your favourite marine animal and why?
That is such a good question. I think it might be the cuttlefish. Just because it's just so mesmerizing. It's so cool to look at how they interact with each other, how the male sometimes mimic being a female and then cheat the other male, the dominant one, so they can court the female on the inside. They're just such clever, amazing animals. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, several people have said that. So but
and you can see them in the UK as well.
Yeah,
so that's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, over to you, Ian.
I've got 3 questions for you. Yeah. First off, so you're going to go diving or snorkeling, and you can take 3 people, either who are alive now or from history. Who are you going to take? They can be non-divers or divers. Doesn't matter whether you're taking snorkeling or whatever.
Sir David Attenborough, who is able to do comments as we're diving. And then Marie and Karina. They're my 2 best friends who I just love going diving with.
That's nice.
Whenever I can, I bring the 2 of them together and go diving. So
good choice.
Yeah.
And just have David Attenborough talking away, chatting away.
Commenting on what we're seeing.
Perfect.
That's really nice.
And what's your favourite piece of dive kit?
Oh, that's so hard. I'm such a dive kit nerd as well. I've
got boxes of stuff.
Oh, yeah, I literally just did. Marie did the garage. So everything is now sorted in boxes. And everything. Obviously,
this is what you've got coming, Gemma.
Yeah, you do. And it's so hard. You can't just get rid of anything. You just become this crazy hoarder and I don't want to sell anything. But okay, so if we start, I need to start. Can I choose 3 items, please?
If you want, yeah. We've not had 3 before, usually just 1, but we'll go with 3.
Okay, so number 1 is my dry suit. Absolutely. Which is the 4th element Argonaut, but it's the stealth one. And the stealth fabric, I'm sorry if it's a bit of commercial here, but this is my genuine opinion. The stealth fabric is just so soft and flexible. It feels like you're wearing a soft shell jacket. For me, it kind of changed well. It's so comfy and lovely to be wearing. Plus, it keeps me full range of temperatures. And for tech diving, it should rise your backup device. So
And people can't see you when you wear it either, being stealth.
Yeah, exactly. Number 2 is my rebreather, my XCCR. I absolutely love that thing. It's a challenge to dive with as well, because it's so different from open diving, and there's a lot of fapping. So, and sometimes if you need to swim over something, or it's not doing exactly what you want it to, like, even though I got quite a few hours now on it, I still feel quite new. So it's still a beginning of the relationship, but man, it's my gadget. And then obviously my dive computer, my Tarek, which is just...
Oh, I like them.
Yeah, they're just lovely. It does everything my dive computer.
Do you wear it every day?
No, unfortunately not. I got quite small wrists, and I work on a desk, so they keep banging on the table, so that's why I don't wear it every day. But I think it looks good enough to be wearing every day.
That's yeah, I like that. That's a Shearwater Tarek, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also, like, I love it that it's customizable. And one thing I particularly love is that it's got this app so you can upload your dives, and then you can go in and use it as your logbook. You can comment, especially because I swap quite a bit between environments, temperatures, and what kit I'm using. So I can write notes about exactly how many kilos I use for the rebreather, with the dry suit, and that kind of undergarment. And it's a lot. So it's like looking away from the dive computer. Actually, the app is extremely.
How many dives have you done, and are you still keeping notes?
I honestly, I don't have as many as I would have liked. There's often quite a fair time in my dives, especially considering my job, and there's a lot of traveling and stuff. I think I'm somewhere, about 1,000. I have no idea. Just to be on the conservative side, when I got my Tarek, I started at 800, and then to go up from there.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day, and I think he's done nearly 14,000 dives, and he still keeps his logbook up to date, recorded every single one.
Yeah, Phil Shaw. Have you come?
Yeah, I was just about to ask if it's Phil.
Yeah, it's just amazing. So I've got my logbook now. I need to log yesterday's. So.
Yeah, that's so cool. But especially the first logbooks, like I did keep them religiously beginning as well. And there was such a cool way of also process dive after done it, like you could think about it.
Yeah.
They're also like as showing off what kind of dives.
Yeah,
it's good. Well, right. Got last question for you. Okay, so you're a lady who's been around the world. You've seen the sights. You've seen above the ground, below the ground, Antarctica. You name it. You've been there. Okay, so with that in mind, you've got a billboard that you want to get a message out to the billions of people, and you can put a quote, you can ask a question, you can put an image, you can put something on there. What are you going to put on it? What's going to be the message?
It has to be something to do with Antarctica and global warming. It's just so hard because you don't really know how to save it. Like when we were there, it was raining a week in a row, and it's the driest continent on Earth. It's not supposed to be raining in Antarctica.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely horrendous, and that beautiful world is slowly disappearing. And even though it might seem so remote to all of us, like if Antarctica disappears, it's going to disrupt the currents that are running around and they're feeding the rest of the planets. Antarctica is kind of like the lungs of the Earth, so we're about to destroy our own lungs. Climate change is real, I guess, for those non-believers. I can't believe they're still you have to dispute that.
Flat Earth Society.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just like, I'm not the best verbalize those things, but it has to be something regarding that.
Climate change is real. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, we like that.
Yeah, there's been it is quite a theme about the environment, and diving obviously makes it very much more real, I think, because you're just within that body.
Often obviously for Thailand, we're very plastic aware and stuff, and something, and I think for the normal person like you and me, it's an easy thing to do to to mind how much plastic we're using, and if it's easy to feel like you're actually doing something that's helping. But how can you tangibly help the environment? So I think, just vote. Make sure you vote for someone who actually believes in climate change.
Even if we all do a little something, whether it's, cut plastic out as much as that you can, even if we all do a little something together, that's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Just eat a little bit less meat, have meat-free Mondays or something like that. Anything helps, really. You don't have to do it perfectly, you just do have to.
Just make the tiny effort, and if we all make tiny efforts, it's for the good, really.
And it's good. You work for one of the leading and forward-thinking companies in the diving industry. So you're in the right place. Brilliant.
Yeah. It must be amazing to sort of work for a company where you're combining your love for scuba diving into something and passing it on to other people.
Yeah, especially and then the environment as well, and that it's actually something everyone in the company is living and breathing. It's not just something that we're using as a sales gimmick. It's really something that everyone believes in at the company.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. Well, I'm sure our listeners will be totally inspired by what you've achieved. It's just amazing.
I still feel like there's just so many of the other people that have, when you listen to the other stories, you still feel like such baby, and sometimes you kind of forget what you've done so far. You're always looking for the next thing, or you're kicking yourself in the back for not diving more, actually, and I think we all need to be a bit kinder to ourselves sometimes as well. What we've
absolutely done. I think there's always a bigger fish. I always say there's always a big fish. There's always somebody out there who's got more experience, done the deeper dive, but I think you have to be proud and acknowledge the great things you've done, and because there's people coming behind you, look up to you and go, look at the stuff that she's done, and maybe when they grow up, they'll want to follow you. My daughter, who might look at women divers today and think, well, one day those things are open to someone like her, so that'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen the Girls at Scuba have just launched their ambassadors today.
Yes.
That was so cool. What a great diversification as well. So many amazing, inspiring women as well. That was just, I think that's a great thing as well. Well done to them.
Yeah. Some brilliant people on there. Yeah,
absolutely. Maria's there as well. Oh yeah.
So she's one of your best friends, is she?
Yeah,
that's nice.
I'm so proud.
Yeah, well, it does, and if it helps, just somebody think, well, I'll give scuba diving a go, then, that's a great achievement. But sort of bringing the new divers in as well, which is really important.
I think they should have had a new diver on there, though.
A what? A new diver.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just starting
that way you've got the whole spectrum covered.
Oh, I'm quite jealous, actually, that you're starting your journey. It's literally just, oh man, if you can go back and start all over again, how amazing would that be? All the possibilities that are open for you, all the things that you can re-see or re-experience. That's just awesome.
I wish I'd started sooner. There you go. I'll enjoy it. I know. So it's embrace it and find the time, and get all this kit. Just
the kit one is definitely, I think, the hardest one to get the money and get everything.
I think Gemma, you've got a very good
I have got a big
price,
thank you to say, because Jim has supplied me with quite a bit.
Hey! Oh, amazing! I'm so glad to hear that.
And thermals.
And thermals as well. Have you got a dry suit already?
Yeah, it was a bit small, so it's gone back.
Oh, no way! Wow, you're starting out right.
Yeah.
Awesome, well done.
Very exciting, So it's a big thank you to Fourth Element, very much.
Oh, cool.
So that's it's even more reason to jump in the cold water.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you'll be diving all year round as well then. It's
maybe.
That's the plan.
Yeah. That's so cool.
And like you say, we've got the whole of the UK, and so many people we've spoken to have said it's such a diverse coastline we have, from the south coast to Scotland, even Ireland. We've spoken to someone, and you just think, well, it's all within a day's travel.
Yeah.
You don't need to hop on a plane and go through all this crazy travel.
No. Yeah, exactly. Plus, like, if you have all your kit already, just try and like put it in your car and you can drive around, and then you're diving with the kit that you already know, and like who's touched it as well, that you're sure that it's not decontaminated.
Unfortunately, Gemma can't quite get all her kit in your car, though, can you, Gemma?
No, I've got a Mazda MX-5 two-seater. So I haven't got a diving car, so I think I'm likely to invest in something else.
The boot is about that big.
Oh dear.
I take my paddle.
You can get your mask in, can't you?
Yeah, put my mask and my fins in, and that's it.
Yeah. You just have to wear the rest of your kit while you're driving to the site, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just even I've got an inflatable paddleboard, and that won't fit in the boot, so it sits in the passenger seat.
Wow.
Like crazy things. Yeah, but it's all good fun, so you've got to laugh about it.
Yeah, but there's always solutions.
Yeah, like the dive master here, he's got a big truck.
But that works, huh?
Yeah, so no, it's good fun. It's always a laugh. But
So when is your next dive then?
not sure yet. Hopefully, oh no, actually Monday. Going to Stoneway Cove.
Monday. Yeah.
Oh, Stoney. Very
Yeah.
nice.
I got my car.
Yeah.
So that should be fun.
Yeah.
Give that a go. So yeah, maybe just try some of these other inland dive sites as well. But I think we've kind of done Gildenberg Water. We know what it's like, and it's like this.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I had to start somewhere, didn't I? So that, yeah. And
Yeah.
the previous week I was in a mill pond, wasn't I? Doing my dry suit. So I've had a bit of variation of waters the last couple of weeks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You're definitely starting out like so. When you will try the tropical waters, that you'll be so comfortable.
It'll be unreal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, that was really great, and it's been really lovely to talk to you. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been a great way to spend the afternoon. I'm sorry if I talk too quickly as well. I do get a bit excited when I talk about diving.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Did you know the Faroese is actually one of the languages that you can't Google Translate?
No, really, I'm going to try it.
Yeah, you have to. We do have like a Faroese translator where there's actually real Faroese people.
Great.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. It's been lovely to talk
Yeah.
to
Thanks,
you.
Rannva. Lovely to
Thank you guys. Yeah, you too. And hopefully I'll see you guys around, and then we might go for a dive sometime as well.
Brilliant. Perfect. Brilliant.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, that was good. I enjoyed that. That was a good conversation I think we had there. What do you think, Gemma?
Yeah.
Enjoyed it?
She was really fun, and great to hear about her journey from beginning to where she is now.
Yeah, it's really good, and just shows you what dedication, pays off, doesn't it? So well done, and really good work. So, really good to keep in contact and get updates from her as time goes on.
Oh God, yeah.
And also, she represents Fourth Element. Fourth Element have been really good to us, and it supported us and supported the podcast.
They have.
Which has been brilliant, and they're not alone. We have other people as well, don't we? So Fourth Element, been absolutely brilliant. Been a brilliant company to get close to, and helps. And they've helped us. O3, another one. Every day, brilliant. Thank you very much. Brief World, in constant contact with another great company, Blue 2. Paralens helping us with support for the camera, Narc at 90, and Shearwater with helping us with Shearwater Peregrine, which is a really good dive computer. Mares helping you with regs, dive computer, and a really nice BCD. So thank you to all these companies, each and one to all. They all help and will help make these podcasts possible.
Yeah.
So
Big thank you.
Yeah, you know, and that is brilliant. And thank you to our patrons as well. It's easy to, you know, just take everybody for granted, but you know, after a really good episode like this, it's always nice to say thank you, you know, and it helped make our trip to St. Abbs possible as well.
Yeah, and it was all really easy. We had all the equipment, everything we needed, and it worked brilliant.
Thank you, guys. Now, so Rannva's going to will be hopefully here in the future. What's coming up? Let's talk about what we've got coming up, Jeff.
Well,
we're going
to do a little talky bit about our trips to St. Abbs, about the dives, about our equipment. So we're just going to do a podcast about that, and there'll be an audiobook on YouTube.
Yeah. So we're going to do sort of, I suppose, little dial-ins about our equipment that we've been given. So like the gloves from 03, I think let's call it a long-term test. We can sort of see how we're getting on as the temperature cools, still finding them warm, as you know, with your exotherm thermals, you know, as the temperature cools and we're still diving during the winter. Are you still warm? You know, how's it going with the temperature changes like that?
Yeah,
it's really good, you know, because if you buy these things, you know, you want them to look after them and also make sure that they're the right equipment all through the season. And those gloves that 03 supported us with, they're 3 seasons, so they're, you know, should carry on all the way through.
Well, hopefully we'll be diving right through the winter if we can.
I think so. Yeah, I can't see why not, really. I'm not much of it in sea, but definitely the rivers.
Yeah.
We should be able to dive. And we've got some inland places we can go. So,
yeah.
One of our favourite places, Stoneway Cove, the water's usually quite durable, really, right up till Christmas and New Year, really.
Yeah.
It's only really when the frosts in the UK start coming down to that temperature, really, then it can be a bit more, a little bit on the old parky side, you know, 3 degrees.
Well, that's all for me to find out.
It is, yeah, that is, yeah. So it's all still doable, you know, it's all about getting the right equipment and prepared.
Well, we'll see. I've got
and feeding it back.
Yeah, so I've got my thermals and I've got a vest, so we'll just keep adding the layers and see how we go.
Well, it is, yeah, and you know, it's a good time, you know, to test these things and feedback, because then if anyone is thinking about buying, such as thermals, they can listen to your review that's out on YouTube. Same as the hydro suit, they can look up, they're thinking about buying a 4th element hydro suit, they can look up on YouTube on the Big Scuba and hear about your review thing.
Yeah.
So that's really good. And same as if someone's looking for gloves, you know, there'll be reviews coming on the gloves that we've got from 03.
Yeah,
so,
and we've also got hoods from 03 and 4th Element as well.
Yeah, so those reviews will be coming, and just keep an eye on social media here. So the other day I was listening to some music. It's a tune I really quite like. I don't know, have you heard this song? And it kind of makes me makes you think really about, well, it's about space. And I quite like this song. I don't know, you know, I know we're talking on Zoom, but I quite like it when you're in the background and you're talking about space.
Relevant.
Is it relevant? Have we got someone coming up who's kind of been in space? So listeners, yeah, we've got somebody coming up who is basically a spaceman. He's been from all parts of the pressure side of things, from up there in space and actually underwater as well. And it's going to be really interesting. I'm totally thrilled about who we've got coming up. And finally we've had to go through checks and legal checks and all sorts of things. So yeah, that's going to be quite exciting to talk to them. That's coming up very soon.
Yeah, so within a week, watch this space.
It is, yeah. We can't really share too much more at the moment, but do keep listening. Do keep an eye on social media. for those little hints. And as soon as we can go public, we will be going public. But yeah, it's exciting. Look forward to it.
Yeah, all exciting stuff about pressure.
Yeah. That'd be good. All right, so that's kind of about it, really. I think we've said our thank yous, and if you're still with us, thank you very much for sticking with us up to episode 30. So coming next, we've got us talking about slabs, then we've got Mr. Spaceman, and that will be coming out next week.
Yeah.
So do keep tuning.
Yeah, and tell your friends, and obviously look out on YouTube for the audio books of the podcast. That's all on there as well. So yeah, it's accessible everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, and YouTube.
Cool. So there we are. Be out of this world. There we go.
Yeah, out of this world.
Yeah. All right. So thank you very much for listening, and keep tuned and keep safe, and also keep an eye on social media for when we can release it.
Yeah, and if you've got any questions for us or want to ask us anything, just pop us a message on our email, social media. We're there. We're happy to answer.
Like, can't I? Well done. See you soon. That's it for me.
Right. Bye, everyone.